Hello everyone! Today we're going to make this 14 karat yellow gold filled ear threader using 20 gauge wire. The earrings look like this. Actually, I'm wearing the same version, only the circle version. Okay, with this, all you need is a wire, a good hammer, and an anvil. We will take a break from soldering. Yes, these earrings, you don't have to use solder. But if you're interested to learning how to solder for the beginners, you can check out my previous video on Soldering Goldfilled. I will also have a surprise style at the end of this video, so make sure that you stay until the end to see what's up. Before we jump into the action, I would like to chat a bit about how this design came about. A while back, before I knew how to solder or set stones, my jewelry creation were mostly wire wrap or fork wire. I actually love making dangle earrings with Swarovski's crystals or other gemstones, and my favorite cut is the teardrop cut. But unfortunately, those things don't sell very well. The things that I'm selling very well is actually the hoop earrings. I'm not complaining. I was just lucky to be able to sell a lot of jewelry, but after a while, the sales start to slow down too. And I was raking my brain trying to figure out what to make next. I knew that my classic oval hoops were a hit, and I've already shown you how to make those on my first YouTube video. I really love that shape, so I wanted to revisit that. I'm also looking for a certain end result. Like for example, I should be able to see the shape. Thus, it has to be face forward on the lobe. There should not be any ears backing, and I want them to still be able to move freely. Thus, this design was born, and I have created this angular back to fit my criteria. You see the angular back here? Okay. And last but not least, this capsule shape, the one that I'm going to make with you today, is actually the evolution of the first one. I wanted to create a paperclip inspired hoop, but with a unique twist. So I thought, why not make this paperclip link into a huge size? And that's how this design was born. We have your stories. Now let's gather our supplies and let's get to work. For the tools, you need a pair of 3-steps pliers, a pair of round nose pliers, flat nose pliers, and a pair of wire cutters. For forging tools, you need an anvil, a rawhide mallet, and a cross peen hammer. And this is the material to make the earrings. I'm using 14 karat yellow gold filled wire. For a comfortable wear, it is important to shave off the part of the wire that is pointy. This is what I'm doing. I'm using a simple needle file. Now that the edges of the wire is dull, I'm going to measure 3.5 centimeter from one end and mark it with a marker. Then, using a pair of flat nose pliers, I make 90 degrees bend exactly on the mark point. Depends on your wire, mine is that soft. This is why it is easier to bend and it looks rather wiggly. However, if the wire is a half hard temper, it will have more a curvature and be more difficult to bend. In that case, be extra careful to avoid marring the surface of the wire during the bending process. Next step, I'll use the 3-steps pliers, using the one with 7 mm diameter, and gently make a quarter circle curve on the both edges of the longer wire. I'm not fast forwarding this process, that way you know exactly how to do it on the video. Once the both side is curved, then I mark the middle of this. In this case, it's a total length of 5 centimeter, so the middle is 2.5 centimeter. And I'm using the same pliers diameter. I fold the wire into half. Slowly, I create a paperclip-like shape. And it's normal that if it's not 100%, even I'm fixing the unevenness with a pair of flat nose pliers. Alright, now let's make the second hoop to complete the pair. If the first one is curved to the left, I'll make this one with the paperclip shape curved to the right. I want to create a mirror image of the first hoop so the pair has a symmetrical appearance. Oops, they are not bent correctly, so I need to spend time adjusting it using a pair of flat nose pliers. Now that I'm satisfied with the paperclip shape, it's time to flatten the form using these parallel pliers. This isn't the only tool I could use. I can also use the flat nose pliers. The reason why I said that because I acquired these parallel pliers later in my jewelry making journey. I didn't have parallel pliers at the beginning. I didn't need this actually more specialized tool right away. This is why I didn't include it in the initial tool list. But they were great for flattening and refining the paperclip shape. Right now, I'm making the last adjustment for the shape. Making these hoops might look simple, but having a perfect balance is very important for this piece of jewelry. So I'm really taking my time. So we arrive on the last step of this process, which is hammering. Using an anvil and a cross peen hammer, I'm flattening the front face of the hoops, at the same time giving this paper clip a hammered texture. If you like your hoops to be without the texture, then you can use a non-marring hammer, for example, a rawhide mallet or the wooden mallet. I keep on hammering on the whole surface until it is rather flat and textured. And from time to time, I'm adjusting the shape. I don't hammer it too hard to avoid it from curving upwards. But this happens, of course. In that case, I will show you how to fix it. Right now, I'm flattening the backside, which is the leftover wire that I will use for the threader, using the parallel pliers. For the next step, I'll use a pair of flat nose pliers to create a 90-degree bend. This will cause the wire to fold downwards, and the segment perpendicular to the paperclip shape will be approximately 6 to 7 millimeter in length. It's a bit tricky to fully explain the step in words alone, but if you refer to the video demonstration, it will be very clear. Remember when I said that if we hammer the wire too hard, it can curve back? Well, it happens with me. So here, I'm just fixing the curve by putting it upside down on the anvil and hammer it backwards using the non-marring hammer. At the same time, I'm hardening the whole threader using the rawhide mallet, while from time to time adjusting the shape. Since I'm using a dead soft yellow gold-filled wire, it needs a significant amount of hammering to properly harden. Rose gold-filled wire or copper wire, the natural properties of the copper make them inherently more difficult to bend, but you may not need to harden them as much as the very soft yellow gold-filled wire. So the optimal hardening approach, it will depend on the characteristic of the wire metal. Softer wires, like my yellow Goldfield, require more intensive hammering, while stiffer wires, like half hard or rose Goldfield or copper, may need less work to reach the desired hardness and shape. Alright, this is the end result of the paperclip front-facing threader. They're gorgeous as is. I don't even need to polish them. Alright guys, it's time for the surprise, okay? I'm going to add a teardrop dangle and make this design convertible. Meaning, you can wear the threaders with the dangle or without the dangles. Let me show you the stone that I choose. Down here. Since orange is super trendy this year, I'm choosing this mango calcedony hard briolet to go with the paperclip ear threader. This teardrop gemstones has a parallel across, so I'm going to wire wrap using 28 gauge dead soft 14K yellow Goldfilled. I'm taking my ruler and measure 12 cm for each stone, threading the wire through and fold into two. I gather them in the middle, and using round nose pliers, I make a loop, bring the wire across, and wrap. The challenge is to wrap it tightly and neatly. Don't worry guys, it takes practice to do it.
Nice.
And to insert the dangle, you simply push forward the opening and thread it into the hoops. The advantage of this interchangeable jewelry is that you can wear it in different occasions. You can even make more than one dangle. The possibility is infinite. This is the end of the video. I really hope that you like the style that I'm presenting to you and that you understand correctly on how to make the front-facing ear threaders, and that you like the surprise at the end, and that you would like to try out with other gemstones. It's possible that you don't have the same gemstones because there's so many gemstones out there. You can even use the crystals, the beads even, or any shapes. The possibility is endless. And if you make one, please show it to me because I would love to know. And what shape is your favorite? If you would like to leave a comment below, I would love to know. I have oval, circle, this paperclip, also whatever shape. Well, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.